live 24-hour news source continues. Brought to you by Ohio Edison.
A big boom in the suburbs tonight after a 6-year-old child finds a hand grenade in his own backyard.
Good evening, everyone. The Southwest Bomb Squad got rid of the rusted-out grenade in spectacular fashion after removing it from a populated area.
Can you imagine that? A live hand grenade? And as News Channel 5's Roosevelt Lefwich tells us tonight, tragedy was avoided by a quick-thinking parent. He joins us now live from our 24-hour newsroom with more. How did the parent act to prevent any further damage there, Rosie?
What he did, Ted, was immediately go and call the police. Now, how would you like to have one of your children use this thing as a toy? Now, this grenade, of course, is a fake. It's something you could find in a Army-Navy store. But the one little Michael Early found was very, very real.
And I take it this was the last thing you would have ever...
6-year-old Michael Early was playing camp in a vacant lot with his friends when they all saw this round thing half buried in the mud.
We put it in the stream.
What, to wash it off or something like that?
Uh-huh.
And then what did you do? Just like throw it around?
No, we just left it there until today.
Mike played with the grenade, got bored, and let it sit on the ground for about a day. Then Michael decided to show it to his dad.
I was working on my truck, and my son came up to me and handed me a hand grenade. He said he found it was old and rusty, but I knew it was a real one. So I took it and put it in the ditch.
The Southwest Bomb Squad came in, suited up, and then carried the grenade out.
It's very corroded. The spoon is rusted off. It's in very deteriorated condition. It's unstable at this point in time.
The grenade was then taken to the Norton landfill, where the bomb squad got rid of it.
Fire in the hole! He's coming!
Well, you could have more or less assumed that there was an internal combustion or internal explosion that caused it to shatter rather than just the exterior, implosion.
So pretty good it was live.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good bet.
Now, how the grenade got there is anyone's guess. Authorities say it may have been some sort of trophy someone brought home from World War II. They buried it and forgot about it until it was found by a child, Ted.
Roosevelt, I guess I can sort of see somebody bringing home a trophy from the war after all, but burying it, a live grenade, does that make sense?
Well, what they thought that might have been a way to get rid of it. See, this area, Ted, it was an old vacant lot there. It was an area that was like a creek bed or something like that, and residents said it flooded out a lot. Nothing has been there for perhaps maybe 30 years, so I guess he thought this was the best place to get rid of it.
So what they thought perhaps they were, in fact, destroying, in fact, they didn't destroy it all.
Not until today.
Okay, Roosevelt, I guess that makes sense. Thank you.
Well, this next animal story will just break your heart. 19 prized Arabian horses perished in an Ashtabula barn fire. Many of the horses placed in nationwide competitions. Today, the family can only stare at the ruins in disbelief as they try to come to grips with losing what they call part of their family. The fire broke out yesterday morning and spread quickly, leaving the horses with no escape. Family members who saw the smoke say they immediately thought the worst.
Yeah, I did, because I knew my mom was the only one home, so I didn't know how anybody would be able to get him out. There was people here trying to get him out, but it went up too quick.
5 horses did survive. The losses are estimated well above the $1 million mark. Right now, investigators don't know what started the fire and fear they may never find out.
And this just into our newsroom right now. A commercial bus has crashed on Route 30 at County Road 175 near Ashland. The bus was carrying a drum and bugle corps out of Illinois, and they were going to a show in Massillon, that's south of us in Stark County. Police say one person is dead. We will have more in our 24-hour news source updates throughout the night here on News Channel 5. Late this afternoon, Cleveland firefighters and Newburgh Heights paramedics worked in vain to try and save a woman involved in a rush hour crash. The one-car accident happened here just after 4 this afternoon. Police say 36-year-old Valerie Johnson of Cleveland Heights was traveling in her red van when she lost control and veered into a tree. The jaws of life were used to try and cut her out. No one knows for sure why Johnson lost control. A Wayne County teenager accused of slamming into 5 Amish children with his truck, killing them, pleaded innocent today. 18-year-old Eric Beisch said nothing as his attorney entered the plea on his behalf on 5 counts of vehicular homicide. Authorities say Bache was trying to pass another car at a very high rate of speed when he lost control, hitting the children as they walked home from a birthday party. Bache, for his part, could serve 65 years in prison if he is convicted.
Well, tonight, all that's left of an F-16 fighter jet is scrap metal. The plane collided with another F-16 in western Illinois as the jets flew in formation. Then it crashed into a farm field. The two-member crew ejected safely, and the other jet was able to fly back to its base in Peoria.
They were on a basic fighter maneuver mission, and it's two aircraft maneuvering against each other. It's a standard training mission that we all go through on a regular basis.
The planes belong to the Air National Guard. The pilots are being treated for minor injuries.
Don't be a sucker. A warning tonight to elderly residents from Cleveland Police. Beware of smooth-talking con men who prey on golden agers. They've already bilked two seniors out of more than $30,000. The con men claim to be cops. Hit here first, asking the first victim to take $8,000 out of his account. And then the second stop, here, Society National, the con men conned another to take out $30,000. How they do it? Well, they simply asked the two older folks to be part of a sting operation to help them catch a teller who was stealing.
Neither the police department nor the banking industry ever has anybody remove money from their accounts.
Anyone with any information whatsoever about the scam artist is asked to contact the Cleveland Police Department. The number is on your screen there, 623-5000.
Well, residents of a West Side Cleveland neighborhood are watching as 60 and 70-year-old homes are falling down around them. Tonight, News Channel 5's Ted Hart has a story about vandalism, frustration, and demolition.
It was obvious what had happened here. A vacant house, kids running through the yard, then smoke pouring out from under the eaves. Neighbors say, so what else is new?
They're on top of the roofs. They're climbing all over the place. The police don't come. Nobody is watching what's going on over here.
What's going on over here is noise abatement. Studies say these residents live so close to Cleveland Hopkins Airport that the noise is harmful to their health. So the city is buying the homes and relocating the residents. The problem lies in what happens between the time the city buys the home and actually tears it down.
This is a common occurrence. These houses have been vacant for at least 2-3 months. They're supposed to be destroyed. They're not. It's only a matter of time before kids play with matches.
Things were bad enough a few weeks ago, but residents still living here say now with kids out of school for the summer running around the neighborhood unsupervised, these vacant homes are an invitation to vandalism. They say it's just a matter of time before someone gets hurt. Councilman Dale Miller says requirements for asbestos removal have slowed the demolition. He admits vandalism is a serious problem.
It just illustrates how important it is that once we get these houses, we have to move very quickly to take them down.
Rather than board up the fire-damaged home, a crew arrived in a matter of hours and just took it down. Neighbors say they can only hope the city will bulldoze the other vacant homes as quickly. Ted Hart, News Channel 5.
Well, in the wake of today's fire, Councilman Miller and airport officials agreed to review security provisions in the neighborhood.
Boy, oh boy, it certainly was a squeaker today, and to the folks in Brook Park, it is a huge victory. Earlier today, the House voted to spare the scaled-down space station from the budgetary axe by a mere one-vote margin. Now, the vote gives NASA the go-ahead to spend nearly $13 billion in the next 7 years on this project. Supporters contend the scaled-down model is very cost-effective.
There's only one mission for the space station, and it hasn't changed. Its mission is to establish an outpost in space in which we can work on a continuous year-round basis.
The only way we're going to deal with the problems that we've had in the NASA budget is to eliminate this black hole, this fiscal black hole, which has been absorbing the money that we ought to be spending on worthwhile programs.
Well, there is still one little catch remaining. The amendment won't get a final vote until next week. About 400 workers at NASA Lewis here in town have been doing a lot of their research for the program.
but they're relieved tonight.
Almost out of the woods.
Well, 2 workers are buried alive after a construction project caves in. Coming up, we'll tell you how the workers were swallowed up by the ground.
And later, coming up in Night Rio, an amazing fish story that kept growing and growing and growing until it just plain old vanished, disappeared, just like that. We'll be right back. 2 men were buried alive today when a trench collapsed in a backyard.
1 man died at the scene, but the second was able to escape. The men were digging a 12-foot deep trench for electrical lines in Laguna Beach, California. The middle section of the excavation gave way and dirt came pouring in on the workers. Rescue crews rushed to the scene, but they were only able to free 1 man. Well, a well-known geneticist was seriously injured by a bomb sent in the mail. The FBI says Dr. Charles Epstein was injured when he opened a small parcel at his home near San Francisco. The package exploded, severely injuring his hands, arms, and abdomen. So far, there is no motive for the attack.
A stowaway who made up an incredible tale will soon be heading home. Immigration authorities decided to deport a young Colombian boy who said he traveled to Miami in the unpressurized wheel well of a DC-8. Medical experts said he would have quickly suffocated or frozen to death if that were true. When he arrived at Miami's International Airport, he said he was a 13-year-old orphan who had been living in an airport and eating out of garbage pails since his parents died. Since then, investigators found out his mother is still very much alive, and the boy was lying altogether about the whole ordeal.
Well, heated talk tonight in Solon over the proposed land swap and expansion of a landfill. Mid-America Waste wants to swap some land with the Metro Parks to expand a landfill they already have. The existing landfill has about 6 to 8 years of life left. The expansion would create 20 to 30 more years for it. The mayor of Oakwood and others are saying, no way. The waste company is saying, we understand, but...
Oakwood's position is simple. 1, we accept Mid-America's continuing for the next 6 to 8 years. But once this landfill is filled, hasta la vista.
We all generate waste, and the waste has to go somewhere. I understand those sensitivities. I wouldn't want to live next to a landfill, and I can understand why you wouldn't either. But I'm in the business of disposing of solid waste.
And of course, the debate continues.
Hasta luego. A sewer flash flood roars through a city.
And wildlife officials are trying to get their hands on this goose tonight. Those stories straight ahead in Night Rio. 2 people are behind bars tonight charged with a vicious crime.
And a whole sewer system goes wild. Those stories headline tonight's Night Reel. A mother and her boyfriend are behind bars in Tampa, Florida tonight, charged with using scalding water to potty train a 2-year-old boy. The boy is in the burn unit right now at a nearby hospital. The couple is charged with child abuse. The pair says it was an accidental burning.
4 sewer workers in Kansas City were swept away after a flash flood underneath the city. 3 were rescued, but tonight 1 is still missing. There is no word on what triggered the flood.
Here's a very strange twist to a very strange story. A man broke into a Salt Lake City business, but in the process, he was overcome with guilt and called 911. That's right, he actually called the cops on himself. Let's listen in.
South Salt Lake Dispatch? Yeah, hi. I just broke through a building. I'm inside the building right now. And I just got frustrated. I'm really upset right now. All I did was break the window, and I walked away, and I felt really guilty about it.
The suspect? Well, he's behind bars tonight.
In Wisconsin, wildlife officials are trying to catch a goose walking around with an arrow hanging out of its body. Somebody fired the arrow through the bird, and ever since then, people have been trying to catch up with this little fellow so they can remove it.
And yes, sir, it's 1 on tape, but that's about it. Seems the fellow in Indiana was real proud of his catch, a 39-pound catfish. So he called up a TV station, and they sent out a crew to capture the monster on tape. But wouldn't you know it, while they were taping, the fish broke the line, fell back in the water, and he got away. And the poor fisherman was left holding the line. Well, at least someday, when he's done fuming about all this, it will make a pretty nifty fish story. That fish was a hog.
The one that got away, that was a big fish.
That's sort of like my luck. What kind of stories are these tonight? These are kind of strange.
Stories.
Hello,
Call
police.
911.
Come and get me. I just broke the law.
Well, all I have to say is keep this fantastic weather coming.
You got that right. And the question right now, Lorna, is can Don produce another stellar day like today?
Yeah,
let's find out in just a minute. Stay with us. Lorna, I haven't seen this guy since last Friday, I guess it's been.
Right.
A couple days off.
Fun.
Out
Out of the zoo today, enjoying some of the best weather of the whole year.
It was wonderful. We had a good time out of the zoo. As a matter of fact, I was out there for 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Still have my zoo clothes on because I stayed for a long time.
Your zoo suit?
My zoo suit. Zoo suit. Right. This was the Zippity Zoo Do. That's an annual event sponsored by the Zoological Society, and they raise all kinds of money out there for the zoo every year. And this year, yeah, that's a big snapping turtle. They raise, I don't have a final figure, but something around $100,000 plus once again. And this one was called For the Birds, and all the money goes to the bird area. They had bands out there, and Ted, you missed it. The most wonderful food.
Yeah, well, they never invite me to things like that.
Right, just great. All right, let's get to it now. Have a look at our weather and find out what's going to be happening during the next couple of days. Will it last? Well, I think that we'll get through tomorrow, all right. This is what's happening around the country now. Around Ohio, everything is clear, but see this big band of showers, everything out west developing. This band particularly out in Kansas has been causing all kinds of problems, and it's all associated with the big weather system that is headed in a westerly direction, and there's a pretty good chance that Friday and Saturday we are going to start to get a little bit wet. 76 was our high today, 54 our low last night. Average high for this date is 80, average low 59. Last year 65 and 53. Record high 94. That was set back in 1948, and the record low 41 in 1963. Sunrise time this morning was 5:55 with the sun setting tonight at 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Temperature outside now 65, humidity is 73%, barometer 30.16, and winds out of the southeast at 9 miles an hour. Around the state, this is what we have now. Everybody in the 60s and the 70s. Lake Erie water temperature is 64 degrees. We are in for a very pleasant night tonight. And now let's have a look at where all this rain is and what's happening. A lot of shower activity down to the south, and also that's a band of showers associated with that front that is now stationary. But look and watch what is going to happen tomorrow. And you can see that we have a whole different situation because it's all headed our way as a cold front, and a lot of heavy weather associated with that. I think for the most part tomorrow, if there is any rain in the state, it'll be well to the west. And I think on Friday, most of it to the south of us. But there's a pretty good chance that we'll start to pick up some rain late Thursday night, and spotty rain on Friday, probably a little bit more on Saturday morning. Then by Sunday, everything is going to clear out. We'll get back to high pressure, and we'll start to cool off a little bit. Prior to the passage of that front, though, we're going to have this warm, moist air coming up from the Gulf, and our temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Out west, right along that system I was showing you, a lot of thunderstorm watches and warnings have been in effect, and they are going to continue for a few hours yet. For the boaters tomorrow, winds will be out of the southeast, 10 to 20, waves 2 to 3 feet. Lake Erie water temperature is 64 degrees. You can almost go in and have a swim. Tonight, clear skies, winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10, low temperature only 60 for the next 5 days. This is what we have now for tomorrow. Lots of sunshine and 85. The outlook now for Friday, partly cloudy skies, and we will also have some showers, 85 degrees. Saturday, a mixture of cloud cover and sunshine, and also some showers, 80. Then Sunday and Monday, back to sunshine again, 75 and 70. And as you get up and go to work in the morning, this is what you will have. I think this is what you will have. Well, I was going to show you, but I'll just tell you instead. And what you will have is mostly sunny skies, a temperature of about 68 degrees, winds out of the southeast at about 10 miles an hour.
Nice morning.
Mm-hmm. Summery day again.
Okay. Thanks, Don.
We'll take it. Thanks.
Well, did the tribe make it 3 in a row?
And even better, Lorna, are they out of the last place part of the cellar? Ross is up next with the answer. Stay with us.
Well, Ross, did they?
They did, and this was the time last year that they started going uphill, so let's hope it's a sign of the times, possibly a repeat of last year. For the first time in more than a month, the Indians are no longer the cellar dwellers of the American League East. Tonight, Jose Mesa's stellar pitching and Kenny Lofton's speed added up to a 3-1 win over the Brewers. It's the Tribe's third straight victory. 12,000 on hand tonight, and they saw action right off the bat. Kenny Lofton takes starter Bill Wegman to deep right. There, Tom Bernansky bobbles it. We count it. It takes Lofton less than 13 seconds to circle the bases for an inside-the-park home run, the first Tribe inside the Parker since Mel Hall in '88. Meanwhile, Jose Mesa cruised. His strikeout of John Jaha here holds Milwaukee scoreless through 6th. In the 7th, though, B.J. Scherhoff's groundout scores the only Brewer run, and we're tied at 1 apiece. But the Tribe comes back in the bottom of the inning. Paul Sorrento singles home Wayne Kirby to break the tie, and the Indians are on top 2-1. Then they get some insurance. Thomas Howard with the sacrifice fly. That brings home Albert Bell, and the Tribe is on top 3-1. That sets up some outstanding relief effort by the Tribe's Jeremy Hernandez, who comes on for his 3rd save of the year, starting to strike him out, throw him out, double play. Tribes won 4 of their last 5, beating the Brewers tonight 3-1.
Good job, Junior.
Well, I think it's pretty big for us, for the starting pitcher, and for the team total together, you know, because I think the way we've been playing lately, we've been playing good, and we got the motivation, you know, and the tempo, we pick it up a little bit more, and I think we can win some games here now.
Success breeds confidence, and professional athletes, they're, you know, world-class athletes, and they're no different than anybody else, in that they're going to do their job better if they're confident in themselves and the people playing next to them and the guy on the mound. And that's things like this can snowball.
So the Indians are ahead of the Brewers by a half game. They'll go for the 4-game sweep tomorrow, sending Mark Clark against Milwaukee's Ricky Bonas. Around the majors tonight, it was in Colorado. Balls flying out of, well, let's first off tell you about Charlie Nagy. His surgery is now set. He'll fly to Los Angeles this weekend, and he'll have that surgery performed by a specialist, Dr. Louis Yoakum. Nagy expects to start throwing again in late August. Chances of him returning to the mound this season are very slim. Now let's take a trip around the majors tonight. First off in Colorado, balls flying out of the park as usual. Vinny Castilla hit 2 home runs and drove in a career-high 5 runs to lead the Rockies to a 15-5 clubbing of the Reds. Reds have won only 4 of their last 12 games. And in Toronto tonight, the hitting streak of John Olerud is over at 26 games. Olerud went 0 for 4 tonight and grounded into a double play in his last at-bat in the Blue Jays' 4-3 loss to the Yankees. The world's largest street basketball tournament now set to return to Cleveland the weekend of August 13th. The 5th annual Hoop It Up tournament will tip off at Nautica in the Flats. Players from 10 years old on up are eligible, and former Cav Austin Carr will even take part, saying there's even a division for him.
And we go all the way up until older than dirt, which is my division. Now, we really, I don't like that name. I'm a lobby to have that name changed. It should be not older than dirt, but maybe just older gentlemen. But I came back basically because I enjoyed it. We won our division our first year. Again, like I said, we had some injury problems, so we're going to come back this year and see if we can defend our title.
With 1,500 teams expected, you're advised to get those entry forms in very early. Finally, tonight at Wimbledon, Patrick McEnroe, one of 3 players, fined $1,000 today for using abusive language. He's considered mild-mannered compared to his older brother, John. Meanwhile, former champ Andre Agassi is sporting a new look. The ace seed won in straight sets today and then stripped off his shirt to show his formerly hairy chest is now clean-shaven. No reason given for that as we head to the scores. Tribe now half game in front of the Brewers.
Wonderful.
6th place. First time in a month.
We're moving, aren't we?
Finally.
Thanks, Ross.
Maybe it's going to be 4 in a row some year. There's more News Channel 5 at 11 straight ahead.
We'll be right back.
Cleveland police have joined the Special Olympics run to raise money for this weekend's big summer games. Members of the Academy gathered at City Hall for the traditional lighting of the torch, and then they were off. They start slowly, but they gain speed here. Just you watch. The run takes 3 days. There they go. The run takes 3 days with rest stops in Akron and Mansfield. The state Summer Games, Lorna, are in Columbus this weekend. Anybody who wants to donate money can call the Cleveland Police Department. They'll be happy to unload you of your money.
Way to go. And finally tonight, creativity in the classroom. It just keeps getting better and better. This invention is called the pool truck. It's a fire truck that has a built-in swimming pool. It's taken to city neighborhoods to give kids lessons in water safety. We hear it's going over swimmingly.
That's a great way to put out the fires this summertime. Just jump in the back.
That's right.
That's the news for now.
And stay tuned for 24-hour news source updates all night long.
See you tomorrow.